Hello everybody and welcome back to our third video in this series, the quest for the elite speak translator. Alright, we're going to cover conditionals at this point. We're going to cover conditionals. And what I have here is a funny little Monty Python Flying Circus argument skit. So, yeah, searching for creative ideas here to keep everybody excited about Python. And I just really think this is a funny skit. So here it goes. A man walks into an office. I'd like to have an argument, please. I see. Well, do you want to have the full argument, or were you thinking of taking a course? What would what would be the cost? And they go through this dialogue, and the receptionist tells him how much it's going to be, and then he says, well, it's probably best if I start with the one and then see how it goes from there. Alright, and then we have a prompt that comes up that says, choose room 12 or room 12A. So, we're going to pick room 12 and see what happens. Oh, we chose room 12. Shut your festering gob. Okay, I think that we've entered the wrong room. Let's go and run that again, and let's choose 12A. Oh, is this the right room for an argument? I've told you once. No, you haven't. Okay, so it's pretty pathetic. Of course, we should probably put something in each one of those as, hey, you're in the argument room. But anyway, here is the code. So you see we have a bunch of various, or I've placed a bunch of various print statements in here. Nah, some of these are necessary, some of them are not. Some of them are just a style thing for me. These empty print statements are just to put spaces in there so it looks decent. I did use a lot of the triple single quotes for, you know, the longer strings, things like that. But that's the basic script. Yeah, it's pretty standard. And then we get into our actual code. Okay, so we have the raw input, which choose room 12 or 12A. And then here comes our conditional. If room choice, so if this is equal to 12, and we're passing it just a string value, not an integer, notice how raw input is going to pass a string value to it. So this is a string value, okay, not a number. And if I chose 12, then this right here is printed out to me, and as you can see, it was a great big mess. Let's add something to it while we're here and say you are in the yelling room? Something close to that. Oh, it's the abuse room. You are in the abuse room. And say try 12A. Okay, and then down here we have the ELI if statement, which is just saying if this isn't true, so if this first one isn't true, then we're going to go to this statement, and this statement evaluates to if room choice is equal to 12A or room choice is equal to 12 lowercase a, just in case you accidentally type it wrong. Then we're going to print this out right here, and we'll go ahead and just toss in a little thing to let them know that success, you're in the argument room. Good job. Okay, and then we have this else statement. So all this is saying is, okay, if this is true right here, If room choice is equal to 12, do this. ELIF. If room choice is equal to 12a or 12a, upper or lowercase, do this. Print this stuff out right here. If none of that is true, then the final thing it's going to do is print pick the right room, dummy. So if you go in and type something crazy, and I'm going to show you that right now, if I don't pick a choice that I am given, if it's going to say pick the right room, dummy, and that's pretty cool. So now if we go to 12, oh, did we save that? I don't think we saved that. Yeah, we didn't save that. That's awesome. Remember to save your stuff. Okay, so now if we go into 12, you're in the abuse room, try 12A. Success, you're in the argument room. Alright, and that's where our guy wanted to be. So this is kind of a fun way to play with conditionals. Sometimes they're really boring. I thought this might be a little fun activity. And you can do this with anything, you know, song lyrics, movie skits. This is a skit from a movie. And you can come out with this huge, long, elaborate story, and you can control what the user does and where you take the user, with just simply conditional statements. And like if you look back at this code, right here we got the or statement, so we could say or this, or this, or this, or this, or this, or this, or not this, not this, not this. You know, just any of those statements, and this, and this, and this. They don't have to be just like single lines and stuff. You can actually combine them and get a lot of flexibility in your programs. So that's conditionals. Let's keep rolling because we're almost done, and then I'm going to send you on your way for setting up this leet speak. Okay, now the last thing you need to know before you go try to make this is how to combine the combination of loops and conditionals. Okay, so here we have our loop. We're back. For loop. So for I in range 0 to 4, we know it's going to be 3. If I is equal to 2, continue, and what continue means is just keep going. Continue and print I. Alright, so we're going to print the I. So after it hits 2, it's still going to keep going, and we're going to go down and print this I. And then we're going to print finished I with string I. Okay? Not very complicated on this for loop. Then down here we have something a little more complicated. We're going to search a string. So we're going to type out a phrase up here with a variable phrase is equal to, it marks a spot. For letter. Remember what I said. This can be anything you want it to be. Up here, it's an I. Programmers use I, J, K for throwaway variables, okay? But you can type this out if you want people to understand what you're doing. So for letter and phrase. Yep. For letter and phrase, if the letter is equal to a capital X, break out. If it's not, print there's no X in phrase. So, in the phrase. Okay. Now, what this is going to do is we're going to look for this. We're going to go through this phrase letter by letter. And if it matches X, then it's going to stop. If it doesn't, it's going to go through the whole phrase and say there's no X in the phrase. Okay? No capital X in the phrase. Down here we're combining while loop and an if else statements. And this is something to practice. This is 3 chances to get a password right. So, notice this variable up here. We set our variable tries to 0. Okay? And I'm just going to highlight those as I'm talking through it. So, while tries is less than 3, remember last time we had the parentheses around this? It's just a styling thing. It doesn't matter. Anyway, while tries is less than 3, the password is going to be equal to raw input of a string password. And now we're going to throw in our if statement. If the password is equal to I heart Bieber, break out. It means we're done. Else, we're going to take tries, right? We're going to take tries, and we're going to add 1 to it. So we're going to take this tries up here. So the loop goes around one time. You guessed the wrong password. When it comes up, or when it comes back up, since we set the default to 0, the first time it comes back, it's 1. So 1 is less than 3, right? And so we're going to go back around until the statement is true, okay? So you have 3 tries. Okay, tries is, okay. And then this while statement and then this else statement is brought outside. Now it says, basically, if you give it 3 tries and you don't get that, then print suspicious activity. Authorities have been alerted. Okay. Again, I'm going to cover this real quick. This is the exact same thing as, I just don't want you guys to ever see this and then be like, I don't know what that means. The plus is the same as what was just there. Okay. So don't forget that, because you can do that with multiplication and other things too. It's kind of neat, kind of nifty. All right, I'm going to run this one because I'm afraid I'm going to run out of time on this. I'm trying to keep these not too long. Okay, so let's roll with it. All right, so in our example here, let me pop this over. Let me pop this over real quick, fast like in a hurry. Okay, we go up to the top. We have our for loop right here. We know that we're going from 0 to 4, so we're really just going to 3. And if the first time goes through 2, we're going to keep going and we're going to print out I for 3. Okay, we're good with that. We're finished with I equal to 3. That makes sense. All right, we search a string. So we went for letter and phrase, if letter blah blah break, else print there is no X in the phrase. Well, we printed there's no X in the phrase because there's no capital X and it marks the spot. So we're good there. That makes sense. Now we're on to our password thing. So I have 3 tries. So I'm going to say LOL, no way, boo. Ah, suspicious activity, the authorities have been alerted. Oh no. But we rerun it, and I'll show you what that break actually does. Watch this. So if I type in the exact then I'm out. The script is finished running because it breaks out of that. It goes back over to here and says, okay, that is equal to that. All right, let's break out of that loop, that while loop. Let's go ahead and break out of that. And that's how you get in and out of those loops. So for your late speech translator, here's what I want you to keep in mind, okay? I want you to remember that what you're going to be doing is you're going to be replacing letters with numbers, okay? And you're going to be replacing, let's see, T is going to be equal to 7, and your B's are going to be equal to 8. Your E's are going to be equal to 3's. Your L's are going to be equal to 1. Okay. And let's run. Your A's are going to equal 4. And, oh yeah, your O's, your O's are going to equal to 0. And that should be all of them. Yeah. Okay. So, when you're making this, you're going to be using some conditionals to replace one with the other. Okay, I'm going to have you, I'm going to give you a little hint here, and I'm going to type it in. And then I'm going to want you to research that on your own and figure out what that has to do with anything. And I'm going to tell you that you're going to need that, a loop, and some conditionals, and you will be spitting out a translated LEET speak message in no time. So if you have any questions, you need some help, let me know. Leave me a comment on the video below. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel and visit our website if you haven't had a chance to check that out yet. It's unitedcodeclub.org. Thank you very much for your time. I hope that you have success and that you've learned something today. Check you later.